All right. I'm going to start that again. Leave it in.
We got
I'm leaving it in. The people are seeing this. Week 6 preview. We got a bunch of ranked on ranked matchups this weekend. Not a lot of great matchups in my mind. I have 7 of them listed here. We'll start with the top 4 matchup. That's probably the biggest matchup of this weekend. Number 3 Iowa home to number 4 Penn State. 4 Eastern on Fox. It's gonna be an interesting game. The two teams that
yeah.
we're not really sure about. Iowa
Um,
has
it's
looked.
definitely
Go ahead.
it's definitely the biggest game in Iowa since like 1985 in Iowa City.
You think? Didn't they have a
Yeah.
game against Ohio State when they were undefeated and ranked a couple years ago?
Yeah, but I don't think it was I don't think that they were the high in the rank.
Gotcha.
Um so and back then it was difficult for the teams to like move up that much despite like they didn't like moving teams for some reason. Um yeah, I think this is a big game for both of these teams. Um Personally, I know it sounds like I'm fading Iowa, but I actually just think Penn State's a really good team. I've been saying it all year. In this game. I think that Penn State just has the edge because I think that Penn State's going to hold on to the football.
I got a
And
good experienced quarterback that's not going to be
yeah,
afraid to go into Iowa. I mean,
exactly. Um, Not and like seriously, not knocking Iowa. I
there's
think Penn
something
State's
about Iowa.
better.
There's just something
You
about
know,
Iowa. You don't
yeah.
trust it.
I don't, unfortunately.
It's the
I'd love to trust it.
offense.
Like, honestly, if they beat Penn State, I trust them, and I'm rooting for them the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Like, have to.
I'm
Um,
I'm just hoping that they're undefeated rolling into their matchup with Purdue on August 6th or October 16th.
so that Purdue can play party spoiler.
Oh, it'll be 2017 when we took down number 2 Ohio State
Oh
all
man,
over again. Get
that'll
ready
be
for it.
fun.
Yeah.
That'll be pretty fun.
Jokes aside.
Okay, okay. Do you have anything else you want to throw in on?
Not on that game.
Who do you think's gonna win?
I'm not betting on this game, but I'm going to say Iowa wins it, honestly.
Okay, all right.
I don't
Well,
I
all
don't
right. I like that because I don't agree with you at all.
I think it's
Um,
just if whoever was at home is going to win this game.
oh, okay,
I
okay, yeah.
if this was
I
at
guess that
Penn
makes
State,
sense.
I think Penn State would
Penn
win.
State wins.
I
Okay,
but
okay. I like that thought process. Um, so
the kids in the
I'll
hospital
go
are
to
going to
the
win it for them, waving at the
I'll
kids in
go
the
to the
hospital.
ESPN game of the week: Oklahoma versus Texas.
Is this the least fun Red River rivalry in recent memory?
God,
Oklahoma
I
is
hope
so depressing right now.
I
And
hope Texas beats Oklahoma.
when's the last time Texas
And
beat Oklahoma? It's been a couple years, hasn't it? It's been several years. I'll look it up.
I can look it up right now.
Let's look it up together. Whoever gets there first. It's the Red River Showdown now. I forgot.
Uh, I got a really good website for this. So if my internet loads, then I will beat you. But it's looking like my internet's not gonna load.
2018 was the
Um,
last time that Texas beat
okay.
Oklahoma. October 2018.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm kind of like in this ball field where I like want it to, like I just kind of want Oklahoma to lose, but
Just
I
get them
also
out of
don't
here.
like
We know they're
Texas.
not good. Just get them out of here.
Yeah, like I feel like this is a game in which they could lose.
I
Um,
Texas wins this game. We get the whole what's wrong with Spencer Rattler? Is Lincoln Riley really good coach? And then it's like it seems like Texas head coaches in their first year, there's always like a moment where like, oh, maybe this is the guy.
he's the Messiah.
And maybe this is Steve Sarkisian's. This is his one. This is like, all right, this is our
Yeah.
guy, and he goes and beats Oklahoma.
Is Texas only have one loss?
Yes, I believe so.
Texas has one. All right. So Texas has one loss. Um, and I know it's just like constant talk on the playoff. But Texas has one loss. Did they make the playoff if they win the Big 12 championship game?
If they
Or
if it's
yeah, did they make the playoff?
If it's Oklahoma again and they beat Oklahoma twice in the same season, I mean, they lost to Arkansas, which we'll see how that loss
Is it a
looks
pretty
at.
good team?
We'll see how it looks at the end of the season, but it's not a bad loss right now. That is not a bad loss.
Yeah.
I think they would put him in there because in this situation, I think there's still two spots because Oklahoma would be taken out of the running if they end up losing twice to Texas.
Sure.
And so UC's probably, if they go undefeated, one of those two spots. And then I guess it would be a 11-1, or I guess 12-1 Texas would be an option. A 12-1 Ohio State would be an option.
An undefeated Michigan.
An undefeated Michigan could be an option. I don't know if Texas gets in over an undefeated Michigan, especially with a win over Ohio State.
I think they get in over an undefeated UC team.
That's a tough. That's an intriguing decision. I think it should be UC, but like you said, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it should be UC, but I just the way that they've done things, they would love to put Texas in the playoff.
Oh yeah, they would
love to put Texas in the playoff.
So yeah, that's the noon game on ABC. If you were curious, another game I have listed here is number 13 Arkansas against number 17 Ole Miss. Boy, this would have been a huge matchup if both of these teams would have won their games this past weekend.
Golly.
If they would have upset Alabama and Georgia, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. No, I agree. It could have been an awesome game. I still think it's going to be an awesome game. I'm excited to watch this game. Just because like the personalities could not be more different on the sidelines at Arkansas and Ole Miss. The personalities of the teams could not be more different. This is going to be interesting. I think Ole Miss has the edge, just because I don't think Arkansas can score the way that Ole Miss can.
Yeah,
but
both teams are going to be wanting this bad. Like after a very disappointing performance this past weekend from both of them, like if they both wouldn't still be seriously considered in the SEC championship race, which technically still both these teams are, and in the broader scheme of possibly getting into a playoff or into one of the bigger bowl games, this is a big game to bounce back.
Well, I even said that Arkansas has Ole Miss has the edge, but that being said, if Arkansas controls the first half, I think Arkansas wins. I actually think Arkansas is the better team here. I think Arkansas is the best team in the SEC West. Or second best team, I mean. Sorry. Second best team in the SEC West.
It's like, whoa, breaking news. One person in America doesn't think Alabama is the best team in the SEC West.
So yeah, that's where I'm at on that game. I have a potential. So obviously we have Alabama at Texas A&M, but like that's a little less meaningless, and I think that Texas A&M loses pretty handily.
Yeah.
And then, but I have.
What would it take for Texas A&M to fire Jimbo Fisher?
What would it take?
Yeah.
Going 8-4.
If they get steamrolled by Alabama, does he get fired this weekend? 3 straight losses.
No.
That'd be 3 straight losses.
No, he doesn't get fired. They owe him too much money.
Fair enough.
Like I know
the seat's got to be a little bit warm. The seat's definitely a lot warmer than it was at the start of the season.
I mean, sure, but like no.
All right, just a thought that crossed my head. Just a thought.
I don't think so at this point. With how much money that they have invested in him, they believe in him.
Fair enough.
They're not going to fire him at least until the end of the season.
Fair enough.
And even then, I don't like. It's too much.
I agree
money.
with you. It just was a thought that crossed my head because
If they
even that
didn't
I'm
have a
thinking
buyout, yeah,
about
I
that
think
is a
they'd
bad
fire him.
sign. Yeah.
If they didn't have such a massive buyout, yeah, I think they'd fire him.
Yeah.
But they do.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna explore some other games that aren't gonna be your like highly rated matchups, but I think LSU at Kentucky is going to be a very fun game this
I think
week.
Kentucky could like kind of roll in that game.
I think they could too.
LSU is
I think
not good. LSU is not good.
no, they're not. And so we could have a 6-0 Kentucky team playing. I think their next game after that is
Alabama.
Georgia.
Oh, Georgia. Oh, they're in
Yeah,
the
I'm not
SEC
sure.
East. I forgot about Kentucky's in the SEC East.
Kentucky football schedule. I'm looking it up for you.
It's at Kentucky this weekend, right? The LSU
Yes,
game?
it is. And but then Kentucky plays at Georgia.
At Georgia.
The next week. I mean, if Kentucky wins and they're 6-0, I think that that's probably a top. I'd say that's close to a top 10 matchup.
Definitely, they take care of it. What are they now? 15, 16, 17, something like that.
They're 16. It's at least a top 15 matchup if they win against LSU.
They'd probably get them in the top 12 just to make, because that's what they did with Ole Miss. They put Ole Miss up into the top 12. So
yeah. But I mean, realistically, Kentucky could still have a really good season.
Yeah.
I think they lose.
I don't think they're
pretty badly, but
a serious threat. Arkansas is slightly better, but they're in the similar vein as Arkansas.
Sure. Yeah. So then I also have South Carolina at C, and that's a noon game on Saturday. I just think that this is like an interesting matchup because I think they have the same record, both first-year coaches. Tennessee is looking, after this past week, is looking good.
Yeah.
They looked good this past week.
I have worked with some Tennessee fans at work, and they were all like, I couldn't believe it, man, when we put up 62 points. I was like, yeah, I thought it was a mistake in my app.
Yeah, I did too. I also thought it was a mistake. This is a game, you don't have to watch it, but I think you should like look out for the score because I think it's like kind of a trap game.
Yeah.
Is Michigan State at Rutgers?
I thought you were talking about the South Carolina-Tennessee game. I was like, I think South Carolina could win that game.
I mean, I do too. I picked I'm more confident in Tennessee at South Carolina than I am Michigan State at Rutgers.
The way Rutgers looked this past weekend, I'm more confident in South Carolina. Just
That's
because
fair.
I trust Michigan State more than I trust Tennessee.
Right. And I think that that's interesting. Like, I trust Rutgers to be annoying.
Okay.
To Michigan State. And like
this does feel like
the
spot where like Michigan State has a lot of hype, and then there's this like, is Michigan State a serious threat in the Big Ten East this year?
We can't wait to disappoint you.
And then they lose to Rutgers.
Yeah. So I apologize to Brooks. I'm not picking Michigan State to lose, but I'm saying that it could be a trap game.
Upset
could be
alert.
One of those games that it's like, yeah, upset alert. So sorry to my fiance's uncle, who is a giant Michigan State fan.
My cousin went there, so sorry to my cousin.
Yeah, so but I still think they win against Rutgers. I'm just like pointing that out there. I think this is like a weird match. It's a weird enough matchup that like, okay, yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
I have two more games that I would like. Oh, three more games.
I also have two games.
I have.
I have 3 games actually.
One of them is another one of the ranked unranked. The Georgia at Auburn game. That is the CBS afternoon game. It is at Auburn. And Bo Nix.
So this is the place that we.
Let me just listen to me out. Listen to me on Bo Nix. I understand Bo Nix can be one of the worst college quarterbacks that you've ever seen. But Bo Nix is also, he has an upset in him. Like he has a big time national stage performance in him. And
one a year.
He'll be terrible the rest of the year.
He did have like an absolutely insane play this past week. Did you see that?
He ran around for like 15 seconds and then found the tight end wide open in for a touchdown. Nuts.
And it's like, okay,
He's got
but
that.
did he use all his juice on that that one play?
No, they're a better team than LSU. He didn't need to play out. Like I'm saying, obviously Auburn is a lesser team than Georgia. I think Bo Nix has it in him that he can go out there and win a game for him. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but maybe I'm putting on Georgia on like a slight upset alert. This game's
tiny bit of one.
If this game was
shouldn't be close.
If this game was at Georgia, this is a blowout. Bo Nix throws like 5 interceptions, but since it's at Auburn, I don't know. Just
okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think the SEC commissioner is shifty. If Auburn wins this week, Georgia loses. Does the SEC commissioner force Georgia to lose to Kentucky so that the SEC has 2 undefeated teams going into the SEC championship game? And then it's Alabama versus Kentucky.
They can force Kentucky into the playoff?
Yes.
Conspire. I guess.
I fully believe that the SEC commissioner is entirely capable of that.
Okay. I'm not willing to go that far, but I'm also not willing to completely deny
it. See, you're not willing to completely deny.
I'm not going to completely ignore it.
Yeah. Okay.
I have 2 more games.
I have 3. So, Utah at USC. Okay. I think that this is kind of a weird. Like it's
I don't understand why USC went back to Keaton Slovis. They should have just stayed with Jackson Dart. Like I know they won this weekend, but Jackson Dart.
I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of like stopped watching the Pac-12 because I've kind of been too drunk most times to watch Pac-12 at night, and I've been drunk like the last 4 weekends because weddings and shit. So
fair. But we're just hoping Utah continues to lose. My 6-6 prediction is on the right track. They're 2-2 right now. They're on pace for 6-6.
Yeah. All right. So what's your next one?
Boise State at BYU. Big time matchup. It's on ABC. This game's on at 3:30 on ABC this weekend. It's getting some prime. What is it? What do you call it? Network television. It's on ABC at BYU. I think Boise State. This could have been a big time matchup if Boise State would have been a lot better than they are because they just lost to Nevada this past weekend. But I still think it's a fun matchup.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I also I had that game in my notes here. I think it is going to be an interesting matchup. Actually, I didn't have that in my notes, but I have it on my bets. I'm taking a bet on it. Anyways, then sorry, I got distracted. I was looking something up.
You're good. What were you looking up? You want to share it with the class?
I was actually just looking at the Utah versus USC odds because I was considering adding a bet to my bets that we're going to be recording here in a little bit.
Utah sucks. Always bet against Utah.
So I have 2 games left. You have 1 game left?
I have 1 game. It is a hell of a game.
I think I know what the game is.
I think we both know what the game is.
Okay, so
we had a game of the century this past weekend here in Nashville.
Okay, yeah. I know exactly where you're going.
Okay,
right, so my
you got to finish on that game. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. We'll finish on that game for sure.
Okay.
So I have Temple at Cincinnati, 7 p.m. this Friday. I have this because I'm a Cincinnati fan. I have it because there's always that room for a letdown. I think you should see Cincinnati put on a show this week. Don't know if it's going to happen because Cincinnati sometimes shows up and puts up a ton of points, and then other times it is sluggish through the first half.
It's Murray State. It's what happened against Murray State.
Yeah. So then our final game. Do you want second team? And then I've designated it. I've given it a name.
You kind of cut
This
out
matchup.
at the start of that, so I only heard that second half of
Oh.
what you said.
Do you want to say the first team? I will say the second team.
Okay.
And then I've given this matchup a name.
Okay. I will say the road team in this titanic matchup, the Yukon Huskies, are playing.
Yeah. And the home team is none other than the University of Massachusetts.
What kind of matchup
UMass.
of teams that name themselves just U, and then an abbreviation for the state that they're located? Yukon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lazy naming.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a gosh.
What was the name?
People
are waiting.
I decided I didn't like the name.
What?
It was the Cumble because you can make it was the Cumble because you can make that out of all of the letters, and because that's about as good as these teams are and deserve.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I thought it was childish.
Definitely can't make this video for kids.
No, it is not for children. So, anyways, who you got in this game? Who you think wins?
In Yukon UMass?
Yeah,
Yukon looked pretty feisty this past weekend. I watched
yeah.
I watched them play Vanderbilt, and it was a pretty ugly game. It was raining. I thought about going, but it rained and got invited over to a friend's house, so
Yeah.
it didn't end up going.
I don't want to. Yeah, I understand that.
But
I wouldn't.
Yukon.
Oh man, my dog is really.
She does not like Yukon, evidently. But
No,
I would pick Yukon in this game. I think UMass is the worst team.
I'm also picking Yukon. I think UMass team definitely has less funding, less everything that they need. So it's really upset. Does not like we both picked Yukon, and she is pissed.
She is a Minuteman till she dies. You're damn right I am. You're damn right.
Yeah. That's what she's doing here.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all the games that we wanted to talk about. So that'll be it for our Week 6 preview. Enjoy the games.